Hi.
Oh, are you looking for Mr. Williams?
No, I'm the substitute teacher.
Oh, okay.
And I look young.
Oh, wait, so did you teach for what period?
He's gonna be gone for third.
Oh, okay, I'm his, okay, sorry,
Yeah,
miscommunication. Oh, okay, okay, cool.
He
Okay,
wrote it, but he'll
Okay.
be covering third and fourth.
Okay,
And
cool.
That's one. of
Okay,
the-
okay, cool. No, I didn't think you were, a student. I get that a lot too.
Oh.
They're like, where's your, they'll like ask me like, the people at work, I'm like, I talk to them like I'm a teacher, and they're like, how do I know you're a teacher? I'm like,
I have to like request to get a badge. Okay, so I'm gonna twist the back so I'm out of your way.
Okay, and I'm recording today just right there, just so you're aware. My coach wants me to record my lesson today, so and I should probably go open that door.
And then just be a walk-in and they'll test you. Okay, I can take my jacket if you want.
You have what?
Okay.
Yes.
Luis, you were there, right?
Why? Wait.
I don't know.
You're one of the, wait, remind me of your name. Yes. Louise? Okay, Louise. You're one of the few, okay, that I get confused with your friend. Wait, Louise.
Is it?
I got everyone's names down. I'm like, Louise, I got it.
Really?
Except me. Hey, yes, she's gonna record for her class, so.
I gotta teach you my name.
Backpack on my desk. Oh, I didn't ask about you. What do you need? Come take me. This
Just a little reminder that one bad day is a bad life.
No, I've been having a bad day all week. Oh yeah, these things are tired.
Nini, you got your bucket. You almost licked. I saw that. Huh? And I got speakers.
Party hat.
Yeah, she did.
Unicorn. Who's?
Appreciate it.
You want me to second Mr.
Are you ready for
John?
this?
Mr. John,
So excited.
Yeah, I know.
Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
That was like the best thing.
I know, I'm like, hello, America. I'm like, no, that's right. Yeah, we are.
Yo, dame yo.
Chris. Yeah, right now, Chris.
Yeah. Get that shit.
Hey, I heard you my first grade class. Good. That's my fifth grade class. Six. Last grade?
I have a bunch of ones down.
Yeah.
I need quarters anyways. That is not a quarter. That is not a quarter. Oh, this is, oh, wait a minute, that's a dog.
Where the dice at?
Did you guys?
Bro, I would, but I don't know how to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
No.
oh, mark it up. This topic.
Is he really? Of course, Leo's really.
Bro, I'll play another one. Don't sound like saying something. Bro, I think yeah. I don't know.
Rolando. This is the easier.
Ooh, you got a link.
No, it's real.
So we good? Hey guys, are you guys better? Are we better than? Yeah, hey guys, much better day today. Yesterday, just in case you guys were curious, I was crying because probably some of you guys know the freshmen. Hey, I left the freshman class yesterday and my schedule changed, so now I'm teaching juniors first and second instead of freshmen fifth and sixth. So I was really heartbroken yesterday because just like I just started to get to know you guys, I just started to get to know them. And like I was really sad that I was leaving. But yeah.
Is that how we're gonna change too, or they're like gonna leave us for other students?
I'm gonna sneak
No.
in here next one.
Right, no, I was really sad. I'm gonna be here till the end of the 16th week period. We'll throw a little party, but I need to make sure you guys get down my emails. Yeah, we'll have a party the last day.
Wait, you're gonna be here till when?
Week 16 until December 17th.
That's still what? Like,
Wait, where are you
it's only
going?
been
So
like
you weren't
10
here for
weeks
my
now?
announcement. I'm only here half the semester because I'm a student teacher. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you're gonna have
We're
Mr.
supposed to
Williams.
each other.
Mr. Williams.
I thought semester was.
I know. Yeah, but at least I'm not leaving now. Like the freshmen were like, they're like, wait, who's gonna be our teacher? And I was like, Mr. Z. And they're like, wait, I thought you were a teacher. So at least it's not me leaving you guys, right? So it's really sad. Honestly, I'm so happy. Like,
And Miss Cozy, we're your favorite.
if I had to choose between lead freshman and sophomore, you guys probably know that one, right? Okay. But I didn't want to leave anybody, right? I was sad.
Here, where was it?
I know some of you guys are just coming in, and make sure to take your guys to see if any of you guys are eating some breakfast, but make sure to have our masks up. Today, it's sort of an easy day because we're starting the outline, but we're not finishing it.
Then I'll learn the book.
The Harrison and Bergeron story. Remember I said we're gonna compare the film?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're finally doing that. So today we'll do a free write. We'll review the Harrison Bergeron questions we went through last time. I'll go over a student example with you guys, and then I'll have you guys start your outline today. We'll finish our outline, or we'll finish our rough draft tomorrow, do peer reviews tomorrow, and then Friday we'll do our rewrite of our final drafts. And Mondays we're moving into a new story. Yeah, so it's gonna be like jokes and broken up, but if you guys don't do your work, you'll feel like it's a lot of work at once, huh?
what's the next story?
The next story is a really sad one. And a play.
Miss, it's a new
So the
boring.
first one was
What's
a more one. The last one was kind of
No.
like a.
the
Yeah, like
Next one was
conspiracy, like this one was kind of like, and the next one's gonna be heartbreaking. I might cry. I can't tell you guys together.
If an animal dies, I'm leaving.
So real quick, do you take attendance or do you need me?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, Chris?
Miss, when are they have like an action?
An actual.
I mean,
weapon?
like an action story.
We'll have one soon.
Like, it's like,
Check out that book I told you about
Where the fern grows. I actually read that story back when I was in high school.
Is it the red? Is it where the red fern grows or where the fern grows? I think it's where the red fern grows.
Actually, I don't know.
I just know it's something where the fern grows.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's about like the two logs on the floor.
I didn't re-look it up.
Oh, yeah,
That story.
Yeah,
the
movie made it
messenger,
Yeah. It'll get.
right? The messenger?
Hey guys, so without further ado then,
It's with,
let's move into our free ride. Oh,
Louis.
by the way, I have the YouTube on because I'm getting observed today, so this is observation number 2. Yeah.
Didn't it not
Hi,
work
Coach
last time?
Katie. Huh?
Didn't it not work last time?
Last time it didn't work, but yeah, Katie's my coach. She's watching, she's gonna give me some feedback. Hopefully better from last time.
Why can't you stay longer?
Because the other teachers are on contract and I'm like, I'm on contract till December 17th. So yeah, it's just the way it works. If I could stay, I would. Even I'm thinking about asking if they would possibly be in to take me as a sub. You know, like I would want to stay as an against this. But yeah, Mr. Wellington needs subs a lot. Yeah. So, but anyways, I want you guys to write down my email. Let's stay in touch. I told you guys about that teacher, Mr. B. Me and him are still like really cool. We're both teaching now for it. He was my high school teacher junior year. Mr. Blackburn. Yeah, I went to Clovis East, and me and him are hoping.
Clovis East Miss hot. That sucks.
I came here a little bit.
Oh,
and then
sorry,
moved
Chris.
to East.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, but let's get into our free right then.
I'm here now.
We've been talking about cognitive distortions. Thank you. We've been talking about cognitive distortions, and today I want to go over the one discounting the positive. This one's discounting the positive. So the definition is you reject positive experiences by insisting they don't count. You guys have probably said that before. Oh, that doesn't count. If you do a good job, you may tell yourself that it wasn't good enough or that anyone could have done it that well. So my example is one of my students said I looked pretty today, but I think she's just being nice. Right? Or someone says, I like your pants. What if I say like, they're just being nice, right? I don't really believe it. I'm excusing the positive instead of saying like, oh, thank you. They like my pants. Or, oh, she thinks I look pretty. Instead of accepting it for what it is, I'm like, probably not. Maybe she's just saying that because you're trying to be nice. Or she probably says that to everybody, right? Maybe she gave a lot of people that compliment. Thank you. Immediately, Ariana. Where's my Ariana? You got to go to the library.
Immediately.
Yeah. But let's get an example of this. So basically, you're overthinking. That's where I had the girl like looking in the mirror, right? It's almost like an insecurity thing. And the reason why we don't want to do this is because we're never going to feel rewarded. If every time something good happens and we say, that doesn't count, we're never going to feel good about ourselves. This is going to hurt our self-esteem, and it's important. Confidence isn't something that you just have. Some people think like, I'm not confident. Like, it's a skill. It's not like you're confident, you're not confident. You have to build it being confident. Confidence is a skill, and this is part of building that confidence skill is not knocking someone when they give you like a compliment or they say something positive. Take it. Or you do something well in school, take it. If you got full credit on assignment, don't just say like, oh, probably everyone got full credit. No, give yourself a pat on the back for getting that A, you know? So let's come up with our own example of a time someone, or a time, maybe you, or give me an example on the internet of discounting the positive. You can even use mine as a compliment. Maybe someone complimented you one time and you didn't believe them. Why didn't you believe them? What were you thinking in your head instead? So let's take a couple minutes. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to go on this one, and then we'll get into our stuff for the day. Make sure you guys are writing these in your Google Doc.
No. I want to look. Really? Did you do it? Was it? What is that? You can say? Oh, yeah. La Rosalina Precisa.
I literally said it.
Shit.
The voice? Yeah. Oh, my God. Give me an example of this.
Attendance is Juan's not here, huh? So bad. Juan, she said tonight.
No.
Ethan, where's Ethan? Not here.
Oh, yeah. Because, no, we sound like we need to tell them.
Dominic? No, Dominic, where's
You don't care
Dominic?
about it. Prep girls?
Let's take a minute and then share with your partner. Take a minute and share with your partner. What's one example? I'm gonna call on you to make sure you have an example of a time maybe someone complimented you and you discounted it. Why'd you discount it?
Miss, my desk.
Oh my gosh! What'd you do? Incredible Hulk?
I don't know what happened.
It's all about cooking. Really? Oh shit.
This has been like that for the longest.
Really? Okay, we can get you a new desk. We should probably write a note on that. It's so dangerous. While we figure that out. Take like 30 more seconds, share with your partner. Yeah.
Damn, that's hard to go.
Yeah. Yeah, don't touch the gum in the back. Thank you guys.
Miss, I can fix it. I'm about to do this. Oh.
And that's time. I actually need new. Oops. I actually need new participation.
You're welcome, Tina. Miss, can I do the thingy with the marquee thingy?
Yes.
I do anything exactly the same. I have no idea.
Hey, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna do this too?
Next time we can do it. Okay. Let's go with 3 examples today. Let's go with 3. For some participation and yeah, go ahead. We're starting new participation today.
Iran. She's seeing at the moment. She's hoping already saying
An
anything.
example would be like getting a name on a test, like just saying what. Yes.
And just saying what after name?
Oh, just being what you said, yes.
Yeah. If you get a good if you get a good grade, maybe you get an A and then you say like, I guess on some of them, I didn't really know, or maybe I just got lucky. I just got lucky. You're not actually giving yourself credit for maybe studying or knowing this stuff. You're just making an excuse. Yeah, it's just kind of positive. Let's go someone else. Good job, Yon.
Talking about the
Haley.
An example of this is winning a race and saying you only won because the person who got 7th place was tired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I won the race, but people were already tired. My competitors were tired. Right, I saw one of the girls yawning who took 2nd place. Probably if she wasn't tired, she would have beat me. Yeah, let's go with one more person and then we'll move on.
We got Lucas.
Lucas, what's your example of discounting a positive? Yeah. Someone gives you a compliment and you find a way to discount it. Instead of believing it, it's almost like you're overthinking in a way. You're thinking,
Miss, where's Lucas at?
why, Lucas originally sits in the front.
No, I meant on the paper thing.
Yeah, on the paper, he's up in the front. Alright, guys, then let's move on. Good job. Remember, cognitive distortions are important because they change our mood and our behavior when we believe these untrue things, right? Like maybe I would have originally got happy when someone said I was pretty, but instead I got sad and discouraged because I said, oh, she didn't really mean it. And that's affecting my mood now because I'm believing something that's not true. Alright, we went over these questions last time. Let's just keep the popsicle sticks. Let's just go over a little refresher. What does the government do to the American citizens to achieve equality? Yeah, Chris?
They restrict them of doing things. Like they put weights, and then I can say that.
Yeah, weights. Yeah, they restrict people from doing things like putting weights on strong people. Ezekiel?
Or they put batteries, they put masks over their face so not no person is more beautiful than the other.
Yeah, they put masks over the beautiful. What else do they do? Weights, they put weights on strong, masks on beautiful. What's the third one they do?
Earpieces.
Earpieces to who? Who do they give earpieces to?
Harrison, no.
Smart people, yeah. How intelligent are George and Hazel Bergeron, and who do we want to be like? Yeah, we did these. These are just
Oh,
review
you want to
questions.
be like George. Because of middle-
Yeah,
And then
Because I don't like.
yeah. Charisma. Let's give Charisma and Haley credit.
thank you.
Yeah, George is a critical thinker, and Hazel is a shallow thinker. We don't want to be like Hazel. She's dumb, right? We want to be like George. He's smart because he's intellectual.
I want to be
And
done.
he has elaborate thoughts. He thinks and he questions the government, and he doesn't just take it for what it is, right? He's not a mindless sheep. He's a wolf. We want to be like George. What technology does George have to wear, and what's its purpose? Yeah, Ezekiel.
He wears the earpiece and the weak stuff, so he's not strong or smart.
Yeah, the main one I was looking with the earpiece. He wears the earpiece so he can't hear his own thoughts. It interrupts his thoughts because his thoughts are intellectual. They're elaborate thoughts. And the government doesn't want him having these thoughts because they see it as dangerous. Because if people were to think individually like George, then the government wouldn't be able to have total control, right? The government's only able to have total control because there's a society filled with people like Hazel who just take it for what it is and don't question anything. And this story is applicable today too, right? Because the government still tells us to do things. The government still pushes laws and regulations. And I want you guys to not be like Hazel. I want you guys to be like George and even question the government today, in 2021. Today. Question what they're doing and always question everything, even question me. That's how you guys find your own voices, right? No one's right, no one's wrong. You gotta have your own opinion.
Why are they hiding ways to get rich?
Why are they hiding ways to get rich? Why does 1% of the American population, why did they take 20% of American income? Out of all the income we make as America, 20% of that went to 1% of the population. Why?
Because they can.
Yeah, because we remain, powerless. People, even now, are distracted with the media. You know what I mean? People watch media, people are on social media, people are watching the news, and people are filling their, and with music and TikTok, and people are filling their heads with all these distractions. And meanwhile, the government's just passing laws, passing regulations, and telling you what to do, and no one's questioning it because no one even knows what's going on. Like the Texas, all the controversial stuff going on right now, it could be the Texas abortion, the Afghanistan, immigration, all these things are going on, and a lot of people aren't even staying woke about it, right? That's why we want to learn how to annotate and analyze so we can know how to be like, right? We look at characters and we say like, we don't like Hazel because she's dumb. We don't want to be like Hazel. Or we want to be like George, and we look at literature so we can say, what are these characters like? And which ones do I want to be like? You guys all have your own story. You guys are characters in your own story. Who do you want to be? You want to be the protagonist? You want to be the antagonist? You want to be the hero?
I'm being chicken nugget.
You guys are all your own hero. Let's go to the last question. How is the idea of equality different in 2081 than it is today? We talked about this last time. Yeah.
So
Haley.
like today, like everyone like wants equal rights and stuff like that. So like in the future, they just want like everyone to be like same smart, like same grades, stuff like that.
Yeah. The way they're trying to make it equal in this dystopian society is by making everyone have the same talents. No one's smarter, no one's more beautiful, and no one's stronger. But these are all like shallow character traits. How we're equal today, right, is by like here in America, you guys have freedom of speech. freedom of religion. You guys are able to be individuals in this society. We live in a capitalist society where people can, work up the ladder. Right? I told you guys socialist is like if I say like all the A students, all the F students, I'm gonna get everyone's grade in this class, average it out, and everyone gets a C. F students, of course, are gonna be happy. You just got a C. A students are not gonna be so happy because you just worked your butt off for someone else's benefit. That's why we don't want to live in a socialist. We don't want to live in a socialist society. It's not fair. But if we don't pay attention to government, we don't question the government, these changes could happen. We can go from capitalist to socialist without anyone even realizing, right? Because you're just minding the sheep going on about being individuals. We start being like George, like, hey, we like being capitalist. We like being individualistic. We don't want to be quote, quote, equal because we know that equal isn't really equal, right? Right?
Equals is like a Walmart version of being.
Yeah, so I want to show you guys a student example of the Harrison Bergeron. If you guys are going to be doing a brief write, we'll start your brief write. Don't write on these student examples. I just want to go over it today because your guys' prompt for your brief write is you're going to want to compare the tone and the Harrison Bergeron story and then the 2081 film we watched. So it's a little difficult. To remember which parts are from the movie and which parts are from the story. But basically, you're doing a compare and contrast brief write. Remember we did the song analysis?
Yeah.
The song analysis was practice, and I said we would have a test. This is quote, quote, the test. Actually, I have enough copies for you guys to write on. Yeah. I have enough copies for you guys to write on.
I didn't even watch the whole movie.
Really? You know the main parts, like the eyebrow difference, the shading in the eyebrows. You guys can watch the film tonight if you didn't finish it. It's up on if you guys didn't finish the film, it's up on Canvas now. But let's go through this together then. Who wants to read the first half of the page? Oh yeah, go ahead. Who wants to read, or can you wait till after we're at least done reading this? So you know, or hurry back. Hurry back. Oh, okay.
What part?
Huh?
What part?
Just up until like halfway, like maybe like right here. Where's the story? Right there. So right now he's gonna read the claim. Remember we have claim, evidence, and analysis. Listen to the claim. Here we go. All right, here we go, guys. We're gonna go over the student exam so you guys know what to do. Go ahead, read it to us.
Perspective can be a very important quality, even when you are looking at the same subject. In this short story, Harrison Bergeron, and its short film counterpart 2081. We see how a shift in tone can change the overall feeling of the story. Harrison presents its
Protagonist.
with an absurd tone whereas the 2081 version of Bergeron
Bergeron, yeah, you gonna say B?
is presented in a much more serious tone.
Nice. Good. So in the claim, we have that perspective can be a very important quality. So this is the claim. It's not starting off saying like in the film 2081 and in the story and the reading Harrison Bergeron. It doesn't start off like that. It starts off by making a general claim. Perspective can be an important quality. Yeah, perspective is everything. That's why we're talking about cognitive distortions. If you want to have a negative filter on and you want to see life negatively, your life's probably going to suck. Right? Because perspective is everything. If you have a positive perspective about life, and you approach life with a growth mindset, you approach it with I can and I will do anything, and you have that resilience going through life, you're going to have a good perspective. You're going to have a positive outlook on life. So it starts off by saying perspective can be a very important quality, right? Even when you are looking at the same subject. So they're telling us we're looking at two things, and our perspective is going to be different. That's already giving us a hint. In the short story, now it's being introduced. In the short story, you guys should have that as your intro. Sometimes you guys just do like Harrison Bergeron. What is Harrison Bergeron? Is it a story? Is it a poem? Is it a movie? I need to know. So in the short story, quote, Harrison Bergeron and its short film counterpart, quote, 2081, we see a shift in tone. So now I'm getting to know what they're talking about. I get the introduction to Harrison Bergeron, and then I get the introduction to the film, 2081. And it says there's a shift in tone between the two stories. I have a tone wheel on canvas. Let me go on the canvas. I have a tone wheel right here for you guys. That's a resource. And this is tone. So it's saying when it says tone, these are some words that have to do with tone. Fear, anger, disgust, sad, happy, surprise. And then it goes further. Confused, amazed, excited, startled, right? These all go with surprise. And if you need other ones, shocked, dismayed, disillusioned. These are all synonyms. So these are your 5 main words, and these are all synonyms that go with those words. This is the tone of the story. So in this paper, the students arguing that in the story, Harrison Bergeron, that the tone was absurd, meaning it's like ridiculous. And in the film, it was much more serious. So we get like a ridiculous kind of tone in the short story, and then we watch the film, it's a lot more serious. That's what you're saying. Okay, that's her claim, or that's the student's claim. Prove it. So yeah, the tone's more absurd in Harrison Bergeron, and it's more serious in film. How do you know that? I'm gonna need to see some evidence. So then she said, who wants to read us in the short story? Yeah, go ahead, Prisma, in the short story. Stop at this absurd tone.
Okay. So, in the short story, Harrison Bergeron, we see an absurd tone when
You can just say V.
we describe the way that Bergeron looks, specifically when he explains that Bergeron was required to wear all times a red rubber ball for a nose, keep his eyebrows shaved off, and cover his even white teeth with black caps at simultaneous random to make his appearance unattractive. He creates absurdity in his description of Bergeron because he has described a person that is just covered with candy caps, including a red rubber ball for nose, similar to flowers.
Okay, so he's saying that the story is absurd, and then his evidence. I have right down the claim and then evidence. For his evidence, he says in the short story, and then we get a quote that at all times a red rubber nose. So he's saying that Harrison Bergeron, the character, he seems very absurd and the text itself. And why? What is the evidence? Because he has to wear a big red nose and he has to shave his eyebrows and he just looks ridiculous. He just looks absurd. So that's why they're saying in the paper, in the reading, he's absurd. But when we see him in the film, is he wearing a red rubber nose? No, he comes in with chains. He comes in like dragging a guy, like, oh my God, like who's this Harrison Bergeron guy? And it's a much more serious than when we see someone like with shaved eyebrows and a red rubber nose. We're kind of making fun of him in the story, but in the film, we're taking him much more serious. So I'm not going to go through the entire student brief right with you guys. I just want to go over like the claim, the evidence, and the analysis. And then they do that again. They say another claim, another analysis, and at the end they wrap it up. So if you turn to the back, at the back of the page, it says the biggest difference between the two stories, and that's what I want to hear at the end. So what's the biggest difference? I know they're similar, but tell me the biggest differences, and then she sums up the claim, right? First, she sums up the main points. The biggest difference between the two stories are that Harrison Bergeron, the reading is absurd, and the film is more serious, the tone, right? And then she says the last sentence, no matter what subject people discuss, the tone in which it is delivered makes a huge difference to how the audience perceives it. Yeah, that's true. We, at the beginning, said perspective is everything, and it is everything. When we see Harrison Bergeron, when we think of him with a red nose and shaved eyebrows, yeah, our perspective about him is a lot different from when we see him in the film, dragging in some guy, like, very strong, and we have, like, all of this background music. It's a lot more tense. So that's what I want you guys to do. You guys could even, like, copy the same idea. You could even say in Harrison Bergeron reading, there's an absurd tone. Don't use absurd. Let's find another word. And then there's a more serious tone in the film. right? Let's find some thesaurus.com, look at absurd. But we're gonna start ours today. So if you'll go onto Canvas, there's the tone wheel, but then there's, oh no, let's go back. This is gonna take too long. So you guys can get out your iPads and you guys can keep the student example. We're gonna start the outline and then we're gonna finish tomorrow. I was gonna have you guys do it today, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit before I just send you guys off on your way. So, boom, let me scroll down. Go and get out your iPads if you haven't already. Oops.
You care about
Okay, here it is. Where it says, brief, write, rough draft. Let's go on to there. And then there's, brief, write number 1. I want you to go on that one. And then that gives you Google Docs. Make a copy. I've already put MLA format for you in the prompt and then lined up your outline. Your job today is to fill out the outline. So you will write about the differences in tone of the short story Harrison Bergeron and the short film 2081. Remember, there will need to be 2 quotes, and then each quote needs to have 2 to 3 sentences. Or each explanation of the quote. The quote should only be a few words, 1 sentence max. There should never be like 2 sentences in a quote unless it's absolutely like it needs to be in there word for word. But if you need to include 2 sentences, probably paraphrase for a little bit. Which there's some paraphrasing in here. They paraphrased the film at the end of the first page. We see him staring down at the hallway and the scene keeps switching between the empty hallway. So like, it's not pulling an exact quote from the film, it's paraphrasing the film a little bit, and you're more than welcome to do that as a quote. Paraphrasing is quoting. So make sure you do your playing, your evidence, analysis, write a few sentences, and then do your second quote, explain that quote, and then your summary to wrap it up. Let you guys have the end of the period to work on your outline, and then we'll start getting in. We'll edit it tomorrow for our rough draft. Does anyone have any questions? You know, you guys got it. You guys are clear on like what tone is, but you guys are writing through brief write. All right, you guys see how the brief write practice and the song analysis helped you for this? Trying to make more sense. A little bit. Do you see how for the song analysis we did the claim, the evidence, and the analysis? That's what you guys are doing now. Remember, the analysis isn't just a summary. We're getting a little bit deeper. If you guys need help, let me know. I'll be around to help, but we have the rest of the period to work on it.
I say I'm done
Not supposed to stop you.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Yeah.
I'm dapping.
Yeah, so, yeah, and you can use this as a student example, right? How to start off. Like I said, it makes a general claim that perspective can be very important. So, right, instead of saying perspective is very important, perspective is everything, period. You know, or like say something about perspective. Let's make, you can even you can paraphrase, right? You can use this, just as long as you're not writing word for word, you could use this as an example. Use some of the sentence starters. Oh, make a copy. And then
You can't handle your space.
yeah.
It's
To make a copy, press share, and then it'll say make a copy.
No, it's kidding.
Yeah. And put Ms. Fernandez. And make sure when you put in like your name, class name, delete it out. So don't leave in your name. That's just a filler.
Literature. This is world literature.
Yes.
World literature.
Yeah, and this student did it wrong. This is not MLA format. Do it how I did it up here, right? They did the name and then they did the date. That's wrong. It's your name, your class name, your name, and then the date. They did get the date right in order though. It's 24 September instead of
Really, that's me.
Oh,
Can I do nothing?
Oh,
How can I do nothing?
good, make sure you guys have your brief write done
What the heck?
today so we can do brief writes on it for
Oh,
block
who's
period.
Who's this?
You wanna finish it in class so you don't have any homework, yes.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, the first one. What, and then Miss Elena, what?
Is it
Are you sure? I don't know.
Yeah, no. Thanks, sweetie. You're cute. Oh my gosh. It's from my sister. I was like, none of these clothes are like me. She's like, what?
Oh.
The teachers. Sure, I'm sorry.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Yes, yes.
I know you make.
Yeah.
I tried it.
Take it.
I woke up by
Yeah, make sure you guys are getting this done. Remember, in the claim, you always want to dress the
I woke
prom.
up like y'all. Cause I don't know. Like I have like right here, like I guess I got comfort in my sleep. That's what woke me up. And I started
Yeah, I gotta put some of this last night.
She woke up.
Yeah, NPR.
I thought it was a car in front of me. Just-
Like 5 in the morning.
Yes.
Hopefully like past by like
So my
maybe
last
like 6.
You have the same, sort of the same last name or first name, but your last name is sort of like my uncle's first name.
Oh, really? Amanda?
Yeah.
Fernando.
Emily, oh.
Is it Ilion or Alion?
No, it's Aaliyah, not neither.
Oh wait, this yeah, she's right there.
I was about to say.
Well, Miss, you forgetting your student's name. It's kind of messed up.
No, you're not fair.
Kind of messed up, Miss.
Yes, I remember everyone saying it.
What's my name is?
What's mine?
Hey, what are we? And what are we?
Best friends? Oh, cousins.
Ha! Miss.
What is he?
Are you guys cousins too?
Yeah, all three of us.
Oh, dang.
I remember.
Miss, you got a hundred seats.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, now.
I was so pumped, I really was. Wow, alright, first second, come a little bit closer, Liza. First second, you guys get me?
I mean the nose.
Like just a little bit? Oh, okay. Rolando, you're Rolando. Rolando, I'm so sorry, Rolando. That's messed up.
Yeah, so Davis is easier for her. You call him Trey or Davis?
I almost had it. I almost had it. Dang it, that's messed up. I really was so
Charisma.
pumped about it. Yes.
Ariana. Christopher. Kenzie. Liliana.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, you wanna have two sentences pretty much if you're playing, like one general and then one. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, at least I'm nice.
If it wasn't here, I knew it. I would answer too.
So you're gonna want two sentences. Somebody said Johnny. One, you're gonna wanna have an overall general speech, and maybe you're talking about perspectives, or maybe you're talking about like, you just say like, you get say like, depending in the audience. You know, I can't word it perfectly at the beginning, that's why you gotta work on it, but basically you can start off like, in general, or you can say that like,
Yo, what's up,
when you
man?
watch a film and you watch the story, you get two different films.
But you aim like how you do.
Where you can't count on, you can't always count on what you like. Or, you know, like you make a general statement, like,
Hey, Miss, can I go to
because
the
you're
water?
trying to say, you know, let's start on the second thing. You need to
You see, you stop eating
Harrison
it.
Bergeron in 2081. He's like comparing. Yeah, 2 sentences. You only need 2 sentences for your claim. One is gonna need to be general, and second claim needs to be, with one claim, the 2 sentences, your first sentence needs to be something general. Like this says perspective can be an uniform quality, that has nothing to do with Harrison and Bergeron in 2081 that we know of. You know, and then she brings it in. So we're like, perspective can be uniform quality, okay? But then we know that she's talking about that because the Harrison Bergeron 2081. Does that make sense? You have to compare the tone. Yeah, go ahead. So I explained it to you. In the story, Harrison Bergeron, we get a description of Harrison Bergeron with his eyebrow shaved and wearing a red nose. That's ridiculous. In the film, we get him dragging in a guy like, you know, screaming for like, you know. Although they have a lot of similarities, there are some differences. So although the story and short film have similarities, there are some major differences that affect the tone of the story. Yeah, like that, yeah. Yeah, you have to use this for reference. Like you see how it says, in the short story, Harrison Bergeron, and in short film, Counterpart 2081, that's what you need to do. What about it? Yeah. No, it's confusing because. No, don't get frustrated because this is the whole point. You're not frustrated. Don't get because like this, you guys are learning something. You guys are learning how to do this. You know, I'm teaching how to do this. You know, you're not supposed to get it. I get it. I get it. I understand it. Some people, you know, yeah. So you know what the tone of the story is? Like you know, Philippines. Like you know.
Look at time.
Huh?
Go look at time. Just look at time. It's not about you. Oh shoot.
I thought one of my students thought they were doing a whole state lane.
Miss, I would have told you.
And I got there and beat. Yes.
The other one was so easy for me. I don't understand why this is so
Yeah, I want you to talk about how they're different too. Yeah, but that's a good start. Yeah. Okay, I chose not to do it. I didn't I don't want you to get, I felt like we're getting a little sidetracked right now from the main prompt, which is the main prompt is to explain the differences between film. Yeah, you don't want to get into analyzing it. You're trying to do a little bit of analysis, but like, it's good, but it's not strong. Does that make sense? Stick with the prompt. Like, yeah, this is like, yeah, so this is a good start, but tell me the differences, like, in both of them, no matter how much, okay. Okay, but this tells me right now that you're about to tell me how they're the same. You know what I mean? Keep writing, but I want to know how they're different. Make sure you include, like, you know, although they're similar in the ways that no matter how much you try to control people, they might not always, be there. They also have a lot of differences. So, you know, in the short film, and like we have that, there are some similarities and some differences. One similarity is this. Some differences are, you know, like I want to know more about the differences. Tell me one. But the rest, keep it different. And I want to know how they're different in tone. Specifically. So it's not just how they're the same or how they're different. It's how is the tone different. How's the tone different? Yeah, the tone, I have a tone word for you. That's part of it. More diction is part of it. But the tone, like, yeah, how does the tone change? Like, it's more serious in the film. It's more exaggerated in the film. How do they do that? One is by having Harrison on, like, in the film, drive through that guy, it's like a scary, intense scene. First in the story, he's wearing a red rubber nose. So character development. Like the tone's different because character development. Because the character development in Harrison Burger is different. Yeah. I just went over that. I need a more specific question. Then ask the partner. Wait, where were you? Did I send you away or you just got Okay, then I'll explain it to you. But if you're done, then I'll explain it to you. Because no one's going to be there. But you haven't explained it. Yes.
And then
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys look gorgeous. Hey, I'm talking about unicorn boy.
If you do you see the tone words I have on there?
Oh, the little wheel?
Yeah, the will.
Yes, I got it from, but that's not very good. I'm not gonna say it was like victimized or like guilty. Like, no, it's not. Not very good words.
Hey, you guys, I have the link on words to describe tone right here. There's 155 words to describe the author's tone. You gotta go down a little bit. Look, 155 words. Absurd, accusatory, admiring, aggressive. I don't even know if that means agreed. Oh my gosh, ambivalent, huh? I don't even know if that means having mixed feelings. Ambivalent. Oh, there you go. No, wait. No?
Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
ambivalent. There you go.
Seen his wife?
Ambivalent. Amused, angry, animated, apathetic, apologetic, appreciative, ardent. I don't even know if that means arrogant, assertive, awestruck, belligerent. Right? Yeah. These are all 155 words. You guys need one word. Okay, go ahead. You guys make sure your rough draft due today or it's homework. I'm giving you guys 30 minutes in class. 30 minutes in class to do it, so I expect it to be done tomorrow. It's due tomorrow, class time for the block here. We're not working on it tomorrow, so don't come tomorrow like, oh, I thought we were gonna have time. No, I gave you 30 minutes in class, so take advantage or do it for homework. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do it. So, someone was gone. I'm gonna explain it one more time, because someone was gone at the library. For this, you have the paper copy that you annotated, Harrison Burger on. You have Harrison Burger on the story. You have 2081, the film. Your job is not to tell me how they're similar. I already know how they're similar. I need to know how they're different. And I need to know how they're different, how their tone's different. One is absurd, right? One is more aggressive. The film is more aggressive. How is it more aggressive? Because he literally drags in a guy on stage. That's aggressive. That does not happen. I just gave you guys an answer. You guys can take that answer. Anything I say in class, use in your writing. Someone literally wrote down word for word verbatim what I said for the brief ride. They got 100%. That's what I love to see. You're going to take what? Of course I agree with you. I'm the one who said it. Of course I agree. Yeah, write down what I say. The film's aggressive, right? The tone of the film is aggressive. What else is it? You know, angry even, right? It's a little, look, belligerent, hostile, aggressive, right? Combatant. So the film is aggressive. How is it aggressive? That's my claim. It's more aggressive than the story. I need my evidence. How? I need a quote. How? Because in the film, quote, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, right? In the film, the protagonist, Harrison Burgon, drags another man on stage. You know, and then and compared to, right, that's a compared to the short story that we read where Harrison Bergeron is portrayed with a red rubber nose. Right? It changes the shift of the story, the tone of the story when we see him dressed up as a clown, and then when we see him compared to dragging some guy screaming on stage. It gives a different tone, right? So explain to me the different tone. Like the two I just gave you about Harrison Bergeron, like how he has a red. Yeah, use those examples. Yeah, but you. I don't want it to be like copy word for word, but if you use the same like, I mean, if you want to talk, you even brought about his eyebrow shape. You know, so like that was your original quote. If you wanted to talk about like how his appearance changes the tone, you know, then talk about that. Like we don't take it as serious when he's wearing a clown. We don't. It's just ridiculous. You know?
What else is in there that's not serious? But that's in the movie or that's in the story?
In the story, he wears a red rubber nose on his ball. Keeps his eyebrows shaved off. His white teeth are capped with black caps.
What else?
So that's all you need. You know, you don't need too much, but you need to explain. You don't need a long quote. You need a long analysis.
Very much.
Yeah, make sure you guys are getting this written. Some of you guys still don't have anything written down on your doc, and it's been 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and some of you guys still don't have your claim. Why don't you have your claim on your paper if it's been 15 minutes? You guys got to write down something. Your claim's easy. Your claim, you're addressing the prompt. You're going to write about the differences in tone in the short story. Okay, literally in your claim, the differences in tone between the short story Harrison Bergeron by this person in the short film is the tone. I literally just gave you the answer, right? I can't write it out for you because this is a test. But literally that's what you do. The differences in tone in the short story versus literally copy and paste it into your claim. That's what I do. Whenever I take a test, I literally copy the prompt into my claim. Every time when I write a paper in college. You want me to type the differences in tone? Boom. The differences in tone are that one is aggressive and one is absurd. Okay, that's your claim. Now you need to explain to me how. Does that make sense? All right, guys, let's get working for a little bit longer. We have close to 10 minutes. I'll have you guys pack up at the end, give you guys some time to pack up. But if you need my help, let me know. Steal some of this. Steal some of the sentence starters.
It's just a cricket. Music is a cricket.
No, you can say it, Bella.
Take it outside.
Wow, I lost it.
Or the
Oh, it's there it is.
audio, yeah.
Yo, go outside.
Or the auditorium.
Go outside.
Or,
Go outside. Go outside.
Just leave it.
Go outside. Go outside. Yo, Xavier. Go outside.
Don't step on it. No.
Hey! Brother, I'm kicking you outside.
Should have just picked it up.
all right, guys, and that is social Darwinism.
How they reading it?
So like some murder.
I witnessed.
And then they explain that that was right. So they give me the quote that he has to wear a rubber bottom. And they say that the author creates a survey in the description of Bergeron because he has a described nose.
Mr. Cricket's the murdered body's still on the floor.
You guys, hear me.
Do we have to explain, like what the story's about, like what they did?
You have to explain what?
Like it says like.
The cricket was actually
like about what the story's
It
about.
was actually
It was like, no,
It was like a hobby to the
You should always
there.
have a short story. If you're ever telling me
You have to go
about
outside, go outside.
like a short story, an essay, or poem, you always want to give me one sentence summary of what it's about.
I was all doing my work and I see like a hawk. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that?
I should have pushed it.
We can take out the fluff later. Just get everything written down to prep you for the trial. We proceed.
You did like 5. She did like
Yeah, it's a layout. Yeah, more comic tone. Yeah, yeah, it's a little more funny to see him. I would agree that it's funny. Yeah, there you go. See?
Good, remember you guys, this is a crappy first draft, right? Your first draft, you're not critiquing yourself, you're literally just writing it down. Spelling errors, grammar errors and all, and then we revise it. Right, our first draft is not our final draft, that's why it says rough draft.
Oh yeah, we could put it. No, you don't like it.
Like this is what I do, the difference in tone like that, whenever I have a prompt.
But you don't want to admit it.
That's exactly like.
Look, that's your claim.
Really not.
Just 5, 3, 5, 4. Get on.
Yeah, highlight it.
No. You're 5.5. So basically, 5.2. We're gonna round it up, say 5.3. We're gonna, even if we're gonna like odd numbers, so you're 5.4.
I have it on my list.
Where you basically.
Well, like, it's so close to 5-5, so.
Yeah, so now that 5.5, so that's an odd number and this is a weird odd number, so you have to go to 5.6.
Boom, I just gave you guys, I literally copied it from the claim, differences in tone of the short story. There are many differences in tone of the short story, blah, blah. The film has a tone, a blank tone, while the short story has a blank tone. That's how you started off right there, right? We always use our claim, your claim should never be hard because literally all you're doing for your claim, we're gonna do some claim practice. You're just referring to the prompt. The prompt's asking you to do this, you're gonna do that. That's how you get an A on your paper. Like, because some people start going off, they ask you to do this, and then you start like talking about like character development, and you're like, wait, what? We're talking about this, and you straight off stay on topic, and once you talk about the differences in tone, stick with that. Yeah.
Can I take the quote?
Yeah, take the quotes from there. Use the quotes from the student copy. You can so do that. That's not cheating. Then your summary, you're saying like, these are the main, or this has this tone and this, although, there are many similarities, the biggest difference between the film and the short story is that the film has this tone and this has this tone. You literally just say the same thing in a little bit slightly different wording. So your claim and your summary should always be done for you because you're just restating the prompt.
What?
And then the evidence will always be done for you, because all you're doing is pulling the quotes. So the only really hard part about this real writing part is the analysis, is the hard part. Alright, we're gonna do peer reviews on this tomorrow for block day. So please make sure you guys have your rough drafts due if you didn't get them done today in class, because we need to do peer reviews. Your peer reviews are due the first like 20 minutes of class tomorrow. Alright, you guys are free to pack up then, or you guys can still work a little bit longer. And you guys are free to pack up, we got 1 minute left.
I asked her how long you like push your bed. That's all it's done.
Alright, these today was productive. Like everyone knows what you're doing.
Alright.
Oops, sorry I didn't give you guys enough time. See ya. And blame it on me. Alright, see you guys. See you tomorrow. Thanks for being good class. Per usual, see ya. See you. Thanks for my cake yes, family. I'm a sucker for sweet treats.
Thank you, Chris.
Candy. Oh yes, thank you, Chris, for you gave me copies the other day too, huh? Look, I remember what is sweet treats. Oh. Did you not get a lot of sleep last night?
Yeah, I had to wake up at 6 because I'm in the debate, so I have to go go to the
Dude,
bar.
I wish I could. I'll take it right away.
You what?
I have to wake up at 5:30. At 6:25, I have to catch a bus. I'm here for an extra hour, and then now I have to go work out. After school, I have to go to practice. I don't get home until 6. Now I have to head to work. So I'll take your life.
And you're grinding. You're
I'm
grinding.
tired.
Look at all this comparison. Look at you guys comparing state. Just focus about yours.
I was thinking about getting a job. I tried. I played at Panda,
Did
but
you?
I was really because my brother's really hard. The boss is rude though. I don't like him. He made me not uncomfortable. Like he was like weird, but he wasn't like when you have a conversation with someone and they're like all happy. He was just so serious, and I was not like comfortable. That was my first interview too, so it was really bad. And he even asked for like any of my contact information. So I was like, I don't even want to work there anymore. But
That's okay. You know how many job interviews I've had, and any job interview I've ever had, I haven't got the job. The only time I've ever gotten the job for job interview is when I need someone who worked there. Like I had a friend who worked there, and then they told me like, oh, we're gonna, Allie knows you. She says you're a good one. She's gonna hire you. But anytime I've ever just randomly tried to find a job I never got, I thought something was wrong with me. I'm like, what's wrong with me? How come like they don't want me? Yeah. Yeah, don't overwork yourself. That's the word. Have a good day. All right, go ahead. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? It's going on. Yeah, we need to speak from some stuff. Hey, what's up, Ashley? Come on in. There's this stuff with other periods. Yeah, we're going. Yeah. A lot of time in my class. Make sure you're working on today's. I will. I can excuse you from a lot of people, but today's.
Miss, I'm way too early. It's a lot. But the real people really do.
You feel like you're too early?
It's
He's in yearbook. Right? Yeah, they look him up. He's in yearbook. Yeah.
All right, that's really okay, I guess.
Oh, I'm gonna go on class.
Oh, shoot,
Oh shoot, I'm still recording that.
Yeah.
All right, see you, Katie. Bye. Hope you enjoyed my lesson. All right.